you've got different indicators that obviously the political arena is going to look to. This is one that the Democrats will be mad about. Republicans will praise it. And I think any realist would look at it and say, okay, I'm going to praise it because it's good. We want more jobs. But to me, it's going to come down to what's the impact of the tariffs? What's the impact of the spending bills towards the end of this year? Do we actually cut the spending that Doge has, showed us all this waste, fraud, and abuse? But I think this is the first step, is to track some of these smaller things, because this is going to dictate 2026, right? When you're looking at this midterm election, I mean, these are the small numbers, but I think it's going to build towards this idea of, well, we actually going to cut spending. We're actually going to do what the Republicans said they would do. And I think the tariffs, to me, it's the big question. But I think seeing these numbers, you're going to see the right screaming, this is great. You're going to see the left saying, hey, oops, here's actually what's wrong. But I think it's a very good thing to see. And, obviously would love to see more jobs.
It's business as usual as far as you're concerned.
Correct.
Okay.
Well, the White House is super happy about it. They sent out this whole thing with the details. So there were, as you said, 177,000 new jobs, which they said was smashing expectations. This included private education and health services, 70,000 new jobs, transportation and warehousing, which I thought was interesting, 29,000, leisure and hospitality, plus 24,000, professional and business services, plus 17,000, and financial activities, 14,000. So all of those people that were saying that everything Trump was doing was going to tank the economy and get everyone fired right away, it looks like they were wrong. Also, all of the people who are saying that, removing illegal immigrants was going to be bad for the American people, like, there's still jobs. That's not so bad. And the stock market has responded. I think it was up, what does the Wall Street Journal says, 1.3% on the NASDAQ, and the S&P was 1.5. So, I think that things are looking okay. Unemployment also had held steady at 4.2%. It's really, though, as we know, right, like the economy, all of these numbers come out. The White House says things, Democrats say things, everybody has their projections, but it's really about how you feel when you're going around in the world. It's about, like, do you feel good when you have $100 in your pocket, or do you feel like you are losing money? Do you know what I mean? Like, do you feel like you can afford your life or not?
I don't get the sense that the average person feels like the economy is doing really well. And I think that the economy is one of those things, if you get enough people that are kind of like, apprehensive about where the country's heading, that's going to affect the economy, even if, we've got really high or full employment or unemployment is really low or whatever. Do you guys get the sense that there is a positive notion towards the economy or the economic situation in the U.S., or do you think that the tariffs have scared people so much that they're expecting negative things too much, and that it's going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy?
Well, I think people can get a little bit spooked when they hear things like the tariffs that we've just been discussing. And once people get through that, once they're like, okay, all right, maybe it's not going to be the end of the world that we have some tariffs going on, I think people will look at their grocery prices and they'll look at what's affecting their day-to-day life, sometimes more than numbers coming in and things like that, just the average person.
So I don't know a whole lot about the if tariffs are going to affect like grocery prices. It's my sense that they're not, but I don't know. Does anyone have any information about that? Libby, do you know any more about, like, do you think they're going to actually affect the grocery? Because I think you're right, Courtney. I think if people feel like they're going to the grocery store, because that's the most regular purchase that most people do, that and gas. And if they're going to the grocery store and they don't feel like they're getting killed, I think that things like Temu being more expensive on Amazon, or Temu is different than Amazon, but things that you're buying from Amazon being more expensive will have less impact if you're going to the grocery store and you're not getting crushed, or you don't feel like you're getting crushed. Does anyone else have
I think the White House has done a really good job of messaging in terms of letting people know that buying little cheap pieces of crap off Temu or Amazon, where when you buy stuff on Amazon at this point, like I was looking for a thing the other day for my cat, like just a dumb thing for my cat, put the litter box in so I don't have to look at it. Anyway, people with cats, what I'm talking about. But it was very hard to find one that wasn't just made in China, that I didn't know when it was ever going to show up or if it was going to be like the picture said it was. And I'm constantly, and I'm sure I'm not the only one, I'm constantly looking for like, was this made in the US? Is this going to be decent quality? You know, like I have this situation with printers. How many printers have I bought in the past like 3 or 4 years?
I cannot get a printer
It's
to
like,
work.
I can't get a print. Right. Right. It's like it just one little aspect of it just stops working. And what I wouldn't give for like the toaster my grandma had in the 80s. You know what I mean? Like stuff.
You don't
that
want your
just-
toaster connected to Wi-Fi?
I don't want that. I don't want the talking fridge. I don't want any of these things. But I do want stuff that works and stuff that lasts.
Yeah.
You know? And so like and I keep hearing, like I was listening to this podcast the other day. It was on Honestly. I don't know if you guys listen to Barry Weiss's podcast ever. She's kind of interesting. But you had two people with contrasting views, Batia Ungar Sargon, who I think is really an interesting
She's
thinker.
very much a cheerleader for the administration.
She's very much a cheerleader for the administration, but she's also kind of a socialist, and
Yeah.
you know she lives in Brooklyn.
She's a
and
surprising cheerleader for the administration. I think is probably
and she's really smart, right?
Yeah, I definitely
But
think she's
anyway,
smart, yeah.
she was making the argument that it's important to bring home manufacturing jobs, even if factories are going to have AI components and all of this stuff, and that Americans can do these jobs. And then you had Brianna Wu, who's like this trans leftist who's also on the show. And Brianna was talking about how Americans are just not smart enough to do the kind of jobs that they're doing in China. And like
Brianna has some bad takes.
bad takes.
And she's had some
Emily,
bad takes.
all around.
Yeah.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.